How everyone? This is Jonathan Prescott and
Adriana Prescott.
And we are Montessori,
Peaceful Montessori Homeschool.
Peaceful Montessori Homeschool. And we are going to be talking about rules, instructions, discipline in the peaceful parenting model. And we have in our studio today, our studio audience, Annabelle Prescott, our daughter. Say hello, Annabelle.
Hello, Annabelle.
There you go. And so she will be joining us at the end to give her evaluation of our little chat. So first thing I want to go over is what rules are not about instruction. And Adriana will pick up with discipline. And so first I want to say is that rules are not an impetus for control, but to supplement instruction. Instruction is different than rules. It's giving practical information that tells how and why we do things. Safety is one of the best ways, and also the best ways based upon experience, how we do things.
And I want to interject and add what, if you were to look up what a rule is in Wikipedia, the definition is going to say a rule is one of a set of explicit or understood regulations or principles governing conduct within a particular activity or sphere. Used as a sentence is the rules of the game were understood, and you have synonyms like directive, orders, law, decree, dictate, guideline, direction, stipulation, and so on. Okay. To me, rules are a tool, okay, to promote to promote independence. No.
Yes, you were saying about independence.
Actually, what was the word I'm looking for? Yeah, independence, correct. And also, rules should be like reminders to encourage good habits. In some homes or places, rules go really hand in hand with discipline. So again, if I pull what discipline is, and it's good to have a good understanding of terminology. So discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, and here it says using punishment to correct disobedience. Ooh, okay. So that's what discipline is. So in other words, to attain discipline is to follow instructions or orders without question, without challenging. And why people want to use this is so that they can have obedient children. And why do people want obedient children? Because they think that the only way you can have children to have good behavior is for them to be obedient. So, and then you have to, in order to have obedient children, you have to discipline. Okay?
So how does that differ from our peaceful parenting model?
Well, and that's and so when you think about it, for you to have that disconnect and say that's not peaceful, you have to kind of understand: do we really want obedient children? Is that what what are they going to be like as adults? Okay, are they going to challenge ideas? Are going to be able to formulate their own thoughts? Are they going to be able to make good decisions? And I don't think an obedient person is capable to attain those things.
To think for themselves.
Exactly. And so you can see this with high schoolers and college students, because they've been exposed to this environment of discipline all this time. And how good really are they at having their own thoughts and making good decisions? You know, they're
sure, anyone can follow rules. You don't have to think about them. Mm-hmm. And but giving instruction is the training to make good decisions about the world. And you can have instruction without rules. Rules are needed when instruction becomes insufficient.
So instead of using discipline, what we use that is more applicable to the peaceful environment is actually self-discipline, because there are times in our lives when we want to improve on something or want to get rid of a bad habit. So we need need to follow steps, okay, and ways for a person to attain that particular goal. So that's what you call self-discipline. That's what we teach.
Yeah, and that you make a good point, because when I wanted to lose weight, okay, I imposed rules upon myself, and I wrote on the mirror what my starting weight was. And so I had a reminder of where I started with. And so this is a skill that adults need to be able to self-regulate and to be able to create our own rules.
Correct.
For a certain purpose.
So again, like the rules are the tools that allow us or promote us to want to make that change.
Correct.
So, so that's what we do. Now there is a caveat for where discipline is applicable. Okay, and we teach that too, and that is there's a time and place for that, and that could be in an emergency. Okay, when we might you may need to tell a child, you got to go do this and this and that, given orders, and that's not a time for them to question and challenge, because there's a dangerous situation going on.
Right.
So there's a time and place where you do need that, and that needs to be explained as well.
And it's explained, you know, at some point, and say there may be a time when I'm going to act a certain way, and that there's a reason why I'm acting a certain way, and this is your cue. And I may say, this is an emergency. This is how you're going. You need to obey what I'm saying immediately, without question. And I can explain later. I will definitely explain later. But when I give you this cue, this is what it means.
Exactly.
And so there's no question in the child's mind what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's really how you handle those emergency situations.
And then there's another one, like for example, our daughter Annabelle, she's taking Taekwondo class, and in that promotional video says that one of the skills that the students will attain is discipline. Okay, so what does that mean in that environment? And so what it is that how they promote discipline in there, the students have to follow instructions in order to be successful in attaining that skill. So it's different.
Right.
So now they have a master in front of them, and needs to tell them they need to kick, they need to block, they need to punch right now in this way, and that's so that you can acquire the skill that I have, which is a black belt.
Right.
And so because the kids understand that in order to achieve that skill, we have to do, this is the discipline, these are the things we have to follow, right, without question and challenge, because they know they're students and they want to learn from this person.
And this follows right in line with what we're about to talk about a peaceful parenting model, because look at the environment that is. The student wants to be there.
Exactly.
Right? And so they say, the student knows, if I do these things, I am going to get this level of skill. Okay? And so the trick of the peaceful parenting model is for you to be able to explain to the child, this is your goal. As an adult, you will gain these certain skills, and these skills will serve you the rest of your life, and you'll be able to do certain things, be able to think for yourself, and all these other benefits. And if once you get that, and they have a buy-in to, I agree with this is a good thing to learn. When I learn these things, I'll become a good person. Then you have their buy-in. That's the volunteering side of things.
Exactly.
And that's where the peaceful parenting model comes into the aspects of discipline.
Exactly. Well, on top of that, you would think that that environment in the Taekwondo class is stiff and not flexible, but on the contrary, it's absolutely fun. So the kids are having a great time in there, but they realize, okay, it's only 30 minutes that I'm here, so I better get the most of it.
Yes.
So they're really looking forward to getting the next color belt, so they're really trying the hardest to ensure that they are following the instructor on the kicks and whatever. So.
Right. And I just want to say just one more thing on, in the peaceful parenting model, rules are created and agreed to collectively. But again, I want to go into the hierarchy of what we have. First, we have there is no rules. All right? You don't need a rule to say do not eat broken glass.
Yes.
We kind of know that's a bad thing. All right, so we don't need a rule for that. But then the next tier is instruction. You can say, okay, it's a good idea to flush the toilet. When you go to the bathroom to flush the toilet. And the reason why is, well, it's because of hygiene, and it's because, you don't want the thing to flood the bathroom, that type of thing. Though that's instruction. It gives a practical information on how and why we do things. And also, and of course, safety, best practices, etc. So that's the next tier. Now, what happens is sometimes when instruction is not being internalized, is not being followed, then what you have to say is, okay, do we need a rule, right? And so you ask the child, you're not doing these things that are you already say that are good ideas. How do we need a rule for this? And what rule do you think would work? And one of the rules that that Annabelle came up with about flushing the toilet. And I don't mean to embarrass her. It was because this is a good learning tool and it's be used for a lot of people. And that is, she reads a lot. She's a very good reader, and so she gets distracted reading. In fact, she's reading now.
Yes. Not really. I'm doing origami actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, origami. She's so into origami. Go ahead.
So anyway, so she's she gets distracted, and so she'll read on the toilet, and then she'll get up and wash her hands, but she'll forget to flush. I completely understand that. I'm not going to tell her don't read, but I say, what do you think we should do? Because you're getting distracted, and we need to. And now she came up with no reading on the toilet.
No books in the bathroom.
No books in the bathroom.
No B in the B.
No B in the B. And so I said, well, what do you think about that? Do you think that that's a good rule for you that we can try? And I said, we don't have to keep it all the time. We can have it temporarily until you get accustomed to it. That's the training thing. That's the getting back to the instruction level, right? And then I said, also, if you want to, we can put up a sign that says, remember to flush. And that might help you too. What do you think of that? She goes, yeah, that's a good idea. So that you come to these ideas collectively and you talk about them. It says, what's going to help you? You already know it's a good idea. It's just you're having trouble remembering it. And until those neurons get connected and things become a habit, you kind of need some help to develop these skills to become an adult. And these skills will serve you the rest of your life. So that's kind of the hierarchy of the peaceful parenting model.
Yes, and sorry to interject.
Go ahead.
The rules that in our family are created and agreed us together collectively. Okay, we have discussions and we talk about and that's how we do it.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't enforce it or anything like that.
And so some people might ask about positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement under the peaceful parenting model. What does that look like? And really, reinforcement has the word force in there. Okay, I totally get that, but for lack of a better term, a positive reinforcement would be exactly what I mentioned before, like a sign to help you remember to flush the toilet after use and to wash your hands or something like that. Go ahead.
May I interject?
Yes.
I think a better word for it would not be reinforcement. It's more like helpful advice.
Helpful advice. That's it. Thank you for
go.
that. But a negative reinforcement would be like a sign to flush the toilet after use or wash your hands or something like that.
Yes.
And so it would just be a reminder until you don't need the sign anymore. I mean, you go to a restaurant now and you see, employees must wash hands after use.
Exactly.
I mean, do you really think that the employees really need that now?
No.
I mean,
Only the new employees.
yeah, pretty much. But after it becomes habit, they feel awkward. They feel odd not doing it.
It's become a good habit, so therefore
Right.
it's null and void now. So
And we won't get into the state requiring and
no,
blah blah
let's
blah.
do the positive reinforcement.
Okay, the positive reinforcement. Now this is kind of fun because I can give a spontaneous reward for a good track record of following instruction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the other day, and it was about the flushing of the toilet. So I went past her bathroom, and I looked, and I went in there. I looked, and she had her clothes in the hamper. Things were straightened up, and I looked in the toilet, and it was flushed. And so I went downstairs, and I said, Annabelle, I see that you have, you put the dirty clothes in the hamper, and the bathroom looks good, and you flushed. Here's 50 cents.
Yep, and he gave me 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, and I said, you keep it up, and I don't, I hope you don't mind me, checking on you, but I would like to acknowledge and reward you for good things. I mean, I don't want to, and I told her, I says, I don't want to always, complain about, bad things. I want to be able to show my appreciation for you doing good.
Exactly.
And so she goes, thank you. And eventually the goal of the rules and the instruction and everything is so that you get an internalized code of behavior that serves you as an adult. And so eventually the goal is to have no rules. You create your own rules.
Exactly.
And that's what makes a good adult, is to be able to self-regulate our behavior. And so, do you have anything to add, Adriana?
Actually, I just thought of something new. We didn't talk about this earlier
Sure.
today. I just remembered. It's like when I used to work as an engineer, when sometimes your discipline turns the project in on time, whatever. Sometimes you get a really nice treat to a lunch.
Yeah.
Right? They cater something in, you get a lunch and everything. And that's a reward to say, you guys turn things early or whatever. And that's going to make you want to work that way all the time,
Yeah.
It's going to promote that good behavior of, we will acknowledge that you do something like this. And every time that you work, turn things in early, you're going to get something.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, sometimes in engineering, when you finish a project, that's when layoffs happen.
yes. We won't talk into that.
So
Anyway.
But anyway, this is pretty much wraps up everything we want to say.
Well, say the last point that you have there, and I'll do my last point here.
Which point is here?
Eventually here.
Oh, I already covered that.
Okay.
And
No, I don't think you did you?
yeah,
Okay.
an internalized code.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is.
But I want to finish mine real quick.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay. So what? Also, another thing is to teach independence is key. You want your kids to just a sec, my dear. It's for them to learn how to apply self-discipline.
Right.
Okay. And not only that, but you want to do it as soon as possible so they can get the practice, because then by the time they're adults, they have already mastered that skill, and so that makes them really good at to think for themselves and make good decisions.
Yes.
So, and that's what we really want for our kids, or our child to be, is to
Right.
so that can be their highest potential out in the world.
Right. We don't want to create somebody who just follows instruction. We want to
Yes.
be able to think for themselves and have their own internalized code, not to be, cannon fodder for the corporate world.
Yeah, and not only that, but to know how to improve on themselves, right?
Correct.
So, anyway.
If you're not given skills to think for yourself and to
Yeah.
make rules for yourself,
Exactly.
there's a lot of people that function. I don't know what to do unless you tell me what to do.
Exactly.
And so anyway, Annabelle, would you like to give your evaluation on how we did?
Yes, please.
And this
Come on in.
is our daughter Annabelle.
Hi.
So, what do you think?
I think it was amazing.
Do you have anything on opinions about rules and
What do you think
instruction?
about the rules?
I think rules are great, but only when you need them.
Of course, because and how do we create rules?
You create rules when.
I mean, who creates the rules? Do you get a chance to create your rules?
Yes.
Do we do them together as a family?
Yes. We do.
And do we ever create rules without your permission?
No. No, you just don't. So I'm just so nervous when I'm on camera.
Oh, that's okay.
So, and there's a big difference between the rules here and rules outside, right? Not
Sure.
Because we always say there's some stupid rules out there, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, by the way, here's my little origami butterfly.
cute. And you also did a origami flower, and the leaf that goes with it. So
Actually, the leaf is separate.
the leaf is separate. Okay.
But these are all origami.
Well, very nice.
And I got them all from the book, The Origami Garden.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. Cute.
I get all my favorite books from Big Columbia Libraries here in the Tri-Cities.
Okay. Is there anything more you'd like to add before we say bye?
Sure. This is my kitty. By the way, have we discussed what's for breakfast yet? Not just kidding. I have something to add.
Sure.
Well, rules are great for training and stuff, but we always discuss rules collectively. We only discuss rules when instruction doesn't work.
So what happens when instruction doesn't work? How do you? Well, I mean, what happens? Do we have a conversation?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and how does that conversation usually act? How do you feel in the conversation? Do you feel free to talk?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because we're training, right?
Yeah.
We're training for what? What are we trying to do?
We're training me to become a sensible, responsible, and peaceful parented adult.
Very good.
All right. Good.
There you go. So this is our. If you have any questions,
Yes.
or want to make comments or anything that we left out, because this is just a brief overview. Please put in the comments below, and then we can.
Will I trust them on the next video?
On the Q&A or whatever
Q&A,
for this, or we do a part 2. Let us know how you like it. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.